Okay, our next topic is the protoplast culture. As you know, we are studying the morphogenesis, which is the part of a plant tissue culture techniques. Okay, now under the plant tissue culture, we have studied many aspects. That is, how to grow an explant, how to do the callus formation, how we can use a very single cell to create the whole new plant. That is single cell culture. Then we have studied the tissue culture. That is how from a single tissue we can create the whole new plant. All these things we have studied. Now there is a very peculiar technique which is relating with the plant tissue culture is the protoplast culture. As you know, we are only talking about the protoplast, which is the part of a cell without cell wall. Now, this part of a cell which does not have cell wall can also be get transferred into the whole new plant by using the plant tissue culture techniques. Various techniques can be used in the plant tissue culture laboratory to convert the simplest of the protoplast to get converted into the whole new plant. So how we can do this particular protoplast culture, what is the procedure, what are the advantages of the protoplast culture, all these things we have to study in this particular video lecture. Now before doing a protoplast culture, there are certain techniques in which there is given the isolation of the protoplast. Okay, for doing the protoplast culture, first we should isolate the protoplast for the plant tissue culture purpose. Now for the all the isolation techniques are already described and uploaded on our channel. So before watching this particular video, you can also watch the isolation of the protoplast. Okay, so let us begin with the protoplast culture. Consider this is your syllabus. We are dealing with the paper number 1 and the chapter number 5, that is the morphogenesis. Here you have to study the protoplast culture. All right, now consider the first slide. See, first of all, let us understand what do you mean by the protoplast. Okay, now see, the protoplast, it refers to the entire cell excluding the cell wall. Right, as you know, in the plant cell there is a typical cell wall. Okay, cell wall is present, and this typical cell wall present after the plasma membrane. Okay, plasma membrane present inside, and after the plasma membrane there is a presence of the cell wall. Now this cell wall, if you remove this cell wall from this cell, see for example like this, after removing the cell wall it will look like this. Only the plasma membrane will be there. Okay, so this last boundary is now of plasma membrane, right? So here if you remove carefully this cell wall, you can actually get the protoplast. So protoplast is nothing but the entire plant cell but without cell wall. There is no cell wall, there is absence of cell wall, and to remove this cell wall, various types of the methods like the chemical method, then the mechanical methods, all these methods can be used, okay, for the isolation of protoplast. Now this protoplast, which is nothing but the whole plant cell without the cell wall, can be used for the generation of the whole new plant by using the plant tissue culture. That is, this is a single protoplast can get converted into the whole new plant by using the techniques of a plant tissue culture. So from this point you can come to know that the cell wall of the plant cell does not play much role in the development of the plant by using the plant tissue culture techniques, because here we are only using the protoplast, and protoplast itself has an ability, or say the protoplast also possesses the totipotency to get converted into the whole new plant. Okay, so generally these protoplasts are created by stripping out the cell wall from the plant cell, and these protoplasts have their ability to get converted into the whole new plant by using the techniques of the plant tissue culture, right? So basically, instead of the X plant, what we are using here, instead of X plant, we are using the protoplast. Okay, so initial step is different from the plant tissue culture, that here we are not using any tissue, we are not using any part of the plant, but we have taken out one single cell. Okay, one single cell is taken out, and this single cell also has a treatment of the removal of the cell wall from it. Hence, only the protoplast is act as the initial material to get convert into the new plant. Okay, so the starting material for the protoplast culture is the protoplast and not the tissue, and that is why it is quite different from the plant tissue culture. Okay, now see, the very first step in the protoplast culture is the development of the cell wall around the membrane of the protoplast. As you know, protoplast does not have any any cell wall around it. Okay, so the very first step during the growth and development of these protoplast is to develop the new cell wall within the controlled plant tissue culture laboratories. Now this is then followed by the cell division that will give rise to the small colony. That is, the first there is only the protoplast, and after the protoplast gets a sufficient amount of the nutrient medium, it will ultimately develop the cell wall around it. Okay, and after creating the cell wall, there will be the division in the cells, and there is a small clump of a cell which is formed in a subsequent time. So this is the general procedure in which the starting material is the protoplast. After that, the complete cell will get created, and after that, the group of cell will get created over a period of time. But this is not that much simple. Whole of the other tissue culture techniques or the plant tissue culture techniques we have to apply to get convert the protoplast into the cell and cell into the group of cells. Okay. Now see, with the suitable manipulation of the nutritional and the physiological condition, these small cell colonies may be grown continuously as a culture or regenerated to the whole plants. So basically, we can create the mini colonies of the cell by using this particular protoplast, and by using those colonies, we can subsequently also regenerate the whole new plant. Okay, so basically what we are doing here, we are taking the protoplast from the single cell, and this protoplast we are growing in the controlled plant tissue culture laboratories. And the very process of growth of protoplast follows like this. First there will be the protoplast, then after that there will be the cell, because the cell wall is formed, and these cells will get converted into the group of cells, and now this group of cells has the ability to get converted into the whole new plant. Okay, so it is quite a simplest thing which can be done in the plant tissue culture laboratory, because many a times we have studied the single cell culture, then we have studied the tissue culture, right? We know the organ culture. All of these cultures we have done. Only the difference is that among these different types of culture is the starting material, and here also we have the very different starting material, that is the protoplast. And what is protoplast? Protoplast is nothing but the entire cell of a plant without the cell wall. Now see, these are protoplast cultured are either on the semi-solid or the liquid medium. Now which type of the medium we should use to culture the protoplast? Now we can use the semi-solid agar medium like this, okay, or we can even use the liquid medium. Okay, both types of the mediums can be useful for the protoplast culture. Now sometimes what we do, see, protoplast are first allowed to develop the cell wall in the liquid medium. First we transfer the protoplast to the liquid medium. Okay, first we will transfer the protoplast into the liquid medium, then this liquid medium will allow the cell to absorb the nutrients, and the cell wall will get formed around this particular cell. So the complete cell is got created in the liquid medium. Okay, and then this can be transferred to the agar medium. Once the cell wall is formed, these whole cells can be transferred to the semi-solid agarose gel. Okay, so here agar, we have the two different types of the medium. The very first is the semi-solid agar, and the second is the liquid medium. Now if you sometimes what we do in this particular scenario, we take the protoplast and we first grow them in the liquid medium, because as you know, absorbing the nutrients from the liquid medium is easy, okay, at the initial stage. So this protoplast can get converted into the whole new cell by creating the cell wall. Now once the cell wall is formed and the complete cell is there, we can transfer these cells to the agar medium, and we can convert them into the callus then. Okay, so we can use the semi-solid media, we can use the liquid media, or we can use both the medias simultaneously. Right, now let us first consider the agar culture. Okay, now see, the agarose is the most frequently used agar to solidify the culture media. Okay, so whatever the culture media is there, this is the culture media, and on this culture media our protoplast will grow. Okay, but to solidify this culture media, we often use the agarose. Okay, agarose is the chemical compound which is obtained from the algae. Okay, so here the agar we are using to solidify the culture media. Here you can observe how the solid culture media is there, which looks whitish. Okay, now the concentration of agar such be that it should form the soft agar gel when mixed with the protoplast suspension. Okay, so basically here the soft agar gel should get formed, and that much amount of the agar we should take, because it should not get too much rigid, or it should not get too much hard, and it should not remain too much liquid. Okay, so the suspension type of the agar gel should get created. Okay, there should be the cultural media which is semi-solid in nature. Okay, so that it can be easily mixed with the protoplast suspension, because this is a protoplast first grown in the liquid medium, right? And now we are fusing this liquid medium into the solid medium. So semi-solid medium should be there in the agar culture, so that they can be mixed together smoothly. Okay, so basically here agar culture we create the semi-solid media by using the agarose gel. Okay, now the plating of the protoplast is carried out by the Bergman's cell plating technique. Now this is the very special technique in which special kinds of instruments are taken to plant the protoplast on the agar gel. Okay, so whatever the protoplast are there, we have to plant this protoplast on the agar culture or agar culture. For planting this culture, we should use the Bergman's cell plating technique. Okay, this is a very particular technique, and a very separate video lecture we are going to conduct to explain this particular technique. Okay, so you remember here that we are going to use the Bergman's cell plating technique for placing the protoplast on the agarose media. Now, in the agar cultures, the protoplast remain in a fixed position, divide and form the cell clones. Now, see, once the protoplast is placed on the agar gel, it will remain there for firmly, okay, because it is attached to the media. Now, from this media, the various kinds of nutrition, like for example, the vitamins, minerals, and the hormones got absorbed by these protoplasts, and these protoplasts slowly get converted into the small colonies like this. Okay, it will divide, redivide to create the mini cells. And the advantage with the agar gel is the clumping of the protoplast is avoided. Okay, now see here why we are using the agar gel, because in the agar gel there will not be clumping of the protoplast. Okay, it will completely avoided in this particular agar culture, and that is why this using this agar culture is quite advantageous for this particular protoplast culture technique. So basically, we should create the agar gel, which is the semi-solid gel, and this agarose media, on this particular agarose media, we can plant the protoplast by using a special technique which is called as the Bergman cell plating technique. And once the protoplast is stick to the media, this will remain fixed at one place. Then it will divide, redivide, and it will create the clones. Okay. So, and here there is also one advantage that the protoplast clumping will not be happen here, because that type of the agar gel we are using. Now consider the second one, which is called as the liquid culture. Okay, and please note, you should be able to compare between the agar gel, which is the semi-solid gel, and then you should compare it with that of the liquid gel. Okay, so both types of the cultures are there, and both type of culture has their own advantages. Okay, now consider the liquid culture. See here, you can see the liquid culture. It is the preferred method for the protoplast cultivation. Okay, now if you want to culture the protoplast, the liquid medium culture is quite advantageous over the agarose culture, and the very reason behind it is that it is very easy to dilute and transfer. Okay, it is a dilute media, it is a liquid media, and it is very easy to plant the particular protoplast in these particular liquid medias, and it can be easily transferred even. Okay, it here the protoplast will not got stick to that of the agar gel, but here the liquid, due to the liquid medium, they are free floating, so they are very easy to dilute, and they are very easy to transfer in the liquid culture technique. Then density of the cells can be manipulated as desired. Okay, whatever the cells density is there, it can be manipulated according to our need. Okay, according to our desire, we can manipulate the density of a cell in the liquid culture medium. Then the third advantage is that for some plant species, a cell cannot divide in the agar medium. Now see, there are certain plants, these are certain plants not grow on the agar medium directly. Okay, therefore they always require the liquid medium choice, and that is why this liquid medium choice becomes suitable for the maximum plants, and that is why this liquid culture has so many advantage over the solid culture or the agar culture. Okay, so agar culture, in the agar culture, basically there is one advantage, that the clump of a cell or the protoplast will not stick together, but here in the liquid culture, much more advantages are there when it compared with that of the agar culture. Okay, and that is why the liquid culture is a much more beneficial technique when it compared with that of the agar culture. Now, protoplast culture media should be devoid of the ammonium. Now, see, this is the very important point. See, whenever we talk about the plant tissue culture, we always say there is a MS media. Okay, majority of the time we use the MS media, which is the Moraceous Cook media, right? Now this media is the semi-solid media, but during the protoplast culture, we should use we should make some chemical changes which are suitable for the protoplast growth, because we are not growing here the tissue. Okay, we are not growing here the organs. So basically, the starting material is different. Here, what we are using protoplast. So for growing the protoplast on the media, there should be certain chemical changes with regard to the media which is typically used in a plant tissue culture laboratories. Now, what type of changes we should make for the best protoplast culture? We should have the media which is devoid of the ammonium. Okay, ammonium should not be there, because the protoplast culture will not grow properly if there is a presence of the ammonium. Then the quantities of the iron and zinc should also be less. Okay, that the less amount of iron is required and less amount of zinc is also required. Okay, then after that, the concentration of calcium should be 2 to 4 times higher than used in the cell culture. See, we require the higher amount of calcium. Okay, whatever the calcium which is used in the cell culture, we should use 2 to 4 times higher amount of the calcium which is present in the cell culture. So basically here the ammonium, iron, and we do not require ammonium at all. Then we require the very less quantity of iron and zinc, and we require the more quantity, that is 2 to 4 times higher quantity of calcium. Okay, now this particular calcium is needed for the membrane stability, because as you know, the we are planting the protoplast. Okay, and the outer part of a protoplast is directly the plasma membrane, because there is no cell wall. So for maintaining the stability of this membrane, we should add more calcium. Okay, so this point will become very important from the UPSC mains examination point of view. This is because in the protoplast culture, whatever the media we are using, this media is quite different from the media we are using for the cell culture or the tissue culture. So what are the basic differences? What are the chemical differences between the two media? The very first chemical difference is the absence of the ammonium. Second is the less amount of iron and zinc, and the third, the higher amount, that is the 2 to 4 times higher amount of the calcium for the membrane stability. Okay, so remember it carefully. Now see, the very high oxygen to kinetian ratio is suitable to induce the cell division, right? Basically, which type of the hormones we should give, the oxygen and the kinetian ratio is quite suitable for the inducing the cell division, right? Here, with the first there will be the protoplast. This protoplast first will develop the cell wall around it, and after developing the cell wall, this protoplast will this particular cell will get converted to 2 cells, then the 4 cells, then the 8 cells, like this. Okay, so for inducing this division, we should require the high ratio of the oxygen to kinetian. Okay, then while the high kinetian to oxygen ratio will required for the organ generation. Okay, if you want to do the organogenesis, that is organ formation, if it is required, then we should use the high ratio of kinetian to oxygen. And if you just want to induce the cell division, you should use the high amount of the oxygen to kinetian ratio. Okay, now glucose is also added in the media as a preferred carbon source. Okay, whatever the carbon source which is required for the normal growth and development of these protoplast cultures, the glucose is the very preferred type of the carbon source. Okay, so always in the media we put the glucose as a carbon source for the plant. Okay, now the vitamins are the same which is used in the tissue culture media. Okay, there is no change in the vitamins. Vitamins which are used for the cell or tissue culture, they can similarly be used for the protoplast culture. Okay, slide, you have understood that what are the differences between the media of the cell and the tissue culture, and what is and that of the protoplast culture, right? Now see, now the process of cell wall formation in cultured protoplast starts with the few hours after the isolation, that may take up to the 2 to several days under the suitable condition. Now once you have planted the protoplast on the media, for example, you have planted the protoplast on the liquid medium, now it will within few hours it will start to grow and create the cell walls around it. Okay, it can take up to the 2 days to the several days to have the complete cell wall formation, and it will all depend on the which kind of suitable conditions you have provided. Okay, how accurately you are performing this particular process. So within a few hours of planting the protoplast on the media, it will start grow, it will start growing, it will create the cell wall around it, but it can take 2 days to several days. Okay, it will all depend on which type of suitable condition you have provided. Now see, as the cell wall development occurs, the protoplast lose their characteristic spherical shape. Okay, so basically initially there is a spherical shape, but as the cell wall formation takes place, this particular spherical shape will get removed, and the different types of the shape will be acquired by the protoplast. Okay, and this different kind of a shape is actually the indication that the growth and development is occurring within the protoplast culture. Okay, now this process of the cell wall development, it requires the continuous supply of nutrients, particularly the readily metabolized carbon source. So basically we are providing the carbon source in the form of glucose, and this glucose required in the plenty of quantity, because these cells are continuously dividing, and they will regularly, or you can say continuously, require the nutrients, and particularly the carbon source is continuously required for the normal growth and development. Okay, so here in this process of the cell wall formation, there we should provide the continuous carbon source in the form of glucose. Now see, as the cell wall formation around protoplast is complete, then the cell will increase in size. Okay, what will happen? Initially there were the protoplast. After that there is a formation of the cell wall around the protoplast, and after the cell wall is formed and complete cell is got created, this cell will enlarge in size then. Okay, what will happen? The size of the cell will get enlarged, and the first division generally takes place within the 2 to 7 days. Okay, generally it takes 2 to 7 days to cell get divide and create the two cells, and after that the 4 cells, 8 cells, and the cycle will continue. But generally 2 to 7 days standard days time is required to have the division. Okay, the very first division requires the 2 to 7 days. So basically here the when the protoplast we plant them on the liquid medium, then after that there will be the formation of cell wall. After the formation of cell wall, 2 to 7 days will be required to create the new cell out of the previously existing cell, that is the first division. Then the subsequent divisions results in the small colonies. Okay, that from 1 to 2 cells has created, from 2 to 4 cells are got created, and from 4 to 8 cells will got created like this. So small colonies of the protoplast or the say cells will got created in the subsequent time. Okay, so many colonies can be created by using this particular method. Then by the end of the third week, the visible colonies are formed. Okay, so many colonies will get will be created at the end of the third week. Okay, that is on the generally on the 21st day you will find there will be the many colonies which are formed in the plant tissue culture laboratory. Now these colonies are then transferred to the osmotic free, that is the mannitol and the sorbitol free medium. Okay, there is a one particular medium which is called as the osmotic free medium. This particular osmotic free medium is nothing but the mannitol and sorbitol free medium. Colonies which got created over a period of time, these colonies can be transferred to the osmotic free medium so that we can form the callus out of it. Okay, so basically at the time at the end of the third week you will have the small colonies, and these small colonies can be transferred to the other osmotic free medium so that there will be the formation of the callus. Okay, so it is an important step in the protoplast culture that once the microscopic or the small colonies get formed, these small colonies should be transferred at the end of the third week to the new osmotic free medium where they can grow into the callus. Now with the induction of the appropriate manipulation, the callus can undergo the organogenic or the embryogenic differentiation finally to the whole plant. Now see, once the callus is got created in the osmotic free medium, this callus, by giving them a particular appropriate manipulations, okay, these manipulations are generally in the form of chemicals. Okay, we can change the ratio, as you know, oxygen cytokinin ratio can be changed to have the organogenesis, and for having this organogenesis you can make the appropriate manipulations so that the organogenic or the embryogenic differentiation can occur, and after the differentiation this particular callus should get converted into the whole new plant. But for that we have to do the appropriate manipulations in the form of chemicals or in the form of ratios. Okay, now see, the plant regeneration can be done from the callus obtained from the protoplast or from the culture of the plant organs. Okay, so basically we can use the protoplast to create the new plant, or we can use the whole tissue to create the new plants. We can use the plant organ to create the new plants. These are all the techniques which comes under the plant tissue culture. But there is a difference between the protoplast culture and other plant organ cultures. See, there are certain differences in the two calluses. See, for example, the callus from the plant organ carries the preformed buds. Okay, if you are using the callus for the plant regeneration which is coming from the plant organs, this particular callus is actually having the preformed buds which is previously got created, right? Or you can say organized structures are there already within that particular X plant. But while if you use the callus from the protoplast culture, it does not have such a structures, and it has to create such a structure within the culture laboratory itself. So whether you are using the protoplast for creating the whole new plant, or whether you are using the plant organs to create the new plant in the tissue culture lab, there is a basic difference, because the preformed buds are present in the callus of the plant organs, while in the callus of the protoplast you will not find any preformed organs. Okay, so this is how we can done the protoplast culture. Okay, so this is all about this topic. Okay, thank you very much for watching this video. Please like this video, share this video with your friends who are studying the botany, and if you haven't subscribed to the Botany After channel yet, please subscribe to the Botany After channel for UPSC examination. Again, thank you very much for giving your time. See you in the next video lecture. Thank you.